When the universe writes two names together, magic follows. Not the kind of magic you read about in fairy tales, but something far more profound. Something that transcends logic, defies explanation, and touches the very core of what it means to be human. Have you ever wondered why certain people enter your life at exactly the right moment? Why do some connections feel effortless while others require constant work? Why does your soul recognize someone before your mind can catch up? Today, we're exploring 10 undeniable signals that destiny chose you for each other. These aren't just romantic notions or wishful thinking. These are deep psychological and spiritual markers that appear when two souls are genuinely aligned by forces greater than circumstance. And if you've experienced even a few of these, you'll understand that some connections simply cannot be explained by logic alone. So let's dive into these profound signs. Sign 1. Recognition happens before words do. The deepest connections bypass logic entirely. Something ancient awakens when destined partners first lock eyes. Before a single word is exchanged, before names are shared, before any rational assessment can occur, something inside you simply knows. You experience immediate familiarity with a stranger. It's as though you've met them in 1,000 different lifetimes. Your body responds in ways that defy your conscious understanding. No awkward tension exists. No need for social masks or carefully rehearsed small talk. Your nervous system settles instead of sparking with anxiety. The fight or flight response that normally activates around new people simply doesn't trigger. Pretense becomes unnecessary in their presence. You don't feel compelled to be funnier, smarter, or more impressive than you actually are. Their proximity feels like returning somewhere sacred, somewhere you've always belonged but had forgotten existed. This isn't infatuation creating butterflies and nervous energy. This is something entirely different. This is homecoming. It's the feeling of finally arriving after a long journey you didn't even know you were on. Two ancient spirits whispering across time and space. Finally. I've been searching everywhere for you. Psychologists call this phenomenon implicit familiarity, but that clinical term hardly captures the mystical nature of what's actually happening. Your subconscious recognizes energy patterns, vibrational frequencies, and soul signatures that your conscious mind has no vocabulary to describe. You're not falling in love at first sight. You're remembering love that existed long before sight. Sign 2. Separation never makes it permanent. Regardless of circumstances pulling you apart, geography, poor timing, misunderstandings, fear, confusion, or even years of silence, an invisible force reunites you eventually. Months pass, perhaps years. Life takes you in completely different directions. You might even convince yourself you've moved on, that the connection wasn't what you thought it was. Yet somehow, someway, fate engineers another encounter, a chance meeting in an unexpected city, a mutual friends gathering you almost didn't attend, a random message that arrives precisely when you were just thinking about them. The universe has a peculiar talent for creating circumstances that bring destined souls back together. True bonds require zero manipulation or forced effort. The current flows naturally, like water inevitably finding the ocean. You don't have to chase, convince, or prove anything. When souls share cosmic contracts, existence itself creates opportunities to reconnect, transform, and advance together. Destiny won't be denied, only postponed. You can delay it, you can run from it, you can build walls and create distance. But if the connection is genuine, if it's written in the fabric of your shared destiny, separation becomes merely an intermission, never the final act. The story isn't finished until both souls have learned what they came together to learn. This isn't about obsession or unhealthy attachment. It's about recognizing that certain relationships carry a gravitational pull that transcends ordinary human explanation. Scientists understand gravity, but still can't fully explain why it exists. The same applies to destined connections. We can observe them and experience them, but the mechanism behind them remains beautifully mysterious. Sign 3. Shared quiet becomes communion, not discomfort. Most relationships make silence feel suffocating, demanding constant verbal filling. We scramble for topics, scroll through phones, and turn on music, anything to avoid the awkwardness of quiet. But your person? Everything changes. Silence transforms into symphony. You can sit beside them for hours, saying nothing, and still feel profoundly linked. You coexist wordlessly while feeling more connected than you do with others through hours of conversation. Because your frequencies communicate beyond language, your essences converse when lips stay still. You might be reading separate books in the same room, watching a sunset without commentary, driving long distances with minimal dialogue. And in those moments, you're not experiencing absence of connection, you're experiencing its purest form. That quietness holds holiness. It's sacred space where souls don't need to perform, explain, or justify. It's how souls express devotion without needing validation through speech. They simply breathe together. Their energy fields synchronize. Their heartbeats find complementary rhythms. In a world that glorifies constant communication, constant updates, and constant sharing, this kind of comfortable silence is revolutionary. It suggests a bond so secure, so fundamental, that words become optional rather than necessary. You're not filling space, you're sharing it. You're not avoiding intimacy through silence. You're deepening it. This is the difference between being alone together and being lonely together. Loneliness can exist in the midst of conversation, but with your destined person, solitude transforms into the most intimate form of togetherness imaginable. Sign 4. Each other's presence catalyzes spiritual expansion. Your authentic match doesn't fill your emptiness. They don't complete you like some missing puzzle piece. That notion, while romantic, misses the deeper truth. They ignite your dormant power. They activate potentials you didn't know existed within you. They propel you toward evolution, healing ancient traumas, and revealing your magnificent potential. Sometimes this intensity overwhelms because genuine love doesn't merely comfort, it revolutionizes. It doesn't just make you feel good, it makes you fundamentally different. Better, stronger, more conscious. Perhaps they model radical self-acceptance, showing you through example what unconditional self-love actually looks like. Perhaps they illuminate your shadows, those hidden parts of yourself you've been avoiding or denying, your insecurities, your unresolved grief, and your unconscious patterns that sabotage your happiness. They hold up a mirror, and sometimes what you see is uncomfortable. Yet everything they trigger ultimately strengthens you. The discomfort is growth. The challenges are invitations to evolve. That's the universe's curriculum, love through transformation. Your souls contracted to unite not just for pleasure and companionship, but for mutual awakening. They inspire you to pursue dreams you'd abandoned. They challenge limiting beliefs you've carried since childhood. They create a safe space for you to become who you were always meant to be, and you do the same for them. This isn't one-sided inspiration. It's reciprocal elevation. Real soulmates don't enable your weaknesses. They don't allow you to stay comfortable in dysfunction. They love you enough to support your highest potential, even when that means pushing you beyond your comfort zone. They're not just your lover, they're your spiritual catalyst, your growth partner, and your fellow traveler on the path to consciousness. Sign 5. Their emotional state reaches you across any distance. Have you randomly remembered someone out of nowhere, felt sudden urgency to contact them, and then immediately received their message or call? Have you woken up with unexplained anxiety or sadness, only to discover later that your person was experiencing a crisis at that exact moment? Have you felt sudden joy without obvious reason and then learned they just received wonderful news? That's energetic entanglement, not coincidence. That's a quantum connection that physicists can measure but struggle to explain. When two souls belong together, their vibrations stay braided, intertwined at levels invisible to ordinary perception. You sense their feelings, their spirit, and their essence, regardless of miles, mountains, or oceans between you. An unseen cord links your hearts. Distance becomes irrelevant. Separation becomes an illusion. Constant communication through texts and calls becomes unnecessary because you simply perceive their care, their thoughts, and their emotional landscape. You just know. You feel them thinking about you. You sense when they need support. You experience inexplicable urges to reach out at precisely the moments they need you most. This isn't magical thinking or confirmation bias. Studies in quantum physics demonstrate that entangled particles affect each other instantaneously across vast distances. If particles can maintain connection beyond space and time, why wouldn't souls operate under similar principles? Consciousness may not be bound by the same limitations as physical matter. Your dreams might feature them during significant life transitions. You might feel physical sensations, warmth, pressure, tingling when they're directing intense thought or emotion toward you. Some report tasting foods their partner is eating, smelling fragrances from their environment, or hearing phrases moments before receiving texts containing those exact words. Skeptics dismiss these experiences as coincidence or imagination. But when you've lived them, when you've verified them repeatedly, when the statistical improbability becomes undeniable, you stop questioning. You simply accept that some connections transcend our current scientific paradigms. Sign 6. Understanding flows without lengthy explanations. You convey complex emotions with minimal words because they grasp immediately. They read between your lines. They interpret your sighs, your pauses, and your subtle shifts in energy. They detect your sadness before you voice it, sometimes before you've even consciously acknowledged it yourself. One glance reveals your thoughts. A slight change in your tone tells them everything they need to know. Your bond transcends emotion, it's psychic. When two souls vibrate identically, exchanges become seamless. You finish each other's sentences not because it's cute, but because you're genuinely tracking the same thoughts simultaneously. You reach for the same object at the same moment. You call each other at the exact same time. You think about discussing something, and they bring it up before you can. Words become secondary. Energy becomes primary. They don't merely listen to your words, they absorb your frequency. They feel your meaning beneath your vocabulary. They understand your silence as clearly as your speeches. This creates profound efficiency in communication. Conflicts resolve faster because misunderstandings rarely occur. Needs get met without elaborate requests. Support arrives without being explicitly solicited. You operate as an intuitive unit rather than two separate individuals, constantly negotiating translation between different languages. But this gift also carries responsibility. When someone can read you this accurately, hiding becomes nearly impossible. Pretense fails. You can't maintain facades or suppress authentic feelings. The relationship demands emotional honesty because dishonesty immediately becomes transparent. This vulnerability can feel terrifying or liberating, depending on your readiness for that level of intimacy. Sign 7. Your meeting arrives at the perfectly imperfect moment. This surprises many. Sacred connections rarely appear during peaceful, stable periods when you feel ready and prepared. They emerge unexpectedly, catching you off guard, often amid turbulence, loss, transition, or isolation. When you're healing from previous heartbreak, when you've just committed to being single, when you're geographically unstable, when life feels particularly chaotic, because existence orchestrates these encounters not for comfort or convenience, but for elevation and transformation. Your souls converge when prepared to facilitate mutual healing and ascension, not when your external circumstances look perfect on paper. The timing might seem terrible by conventional standards. You might be in different life stages. One is ready for commitment, while the other needs freedom. One is geographically rooted, while the other travels constantly. Financial instability, family complications, career transitions. The obstacles might seem insurmountable. Even if circumstances feel harsh initially, the connection delivers teachings and gifts, shaping your entire path forward. You don't meet them to avoid suffering or escape your current challenges. You meet them to transcend it all, to learn lessons you couldn't learn alone, to develop capacities you didn't know you needed. Sometimes the relationship itself isn't meant to be permanent in the traditional sense. Sometimes you're meant to profoundly impact each other during a specific window, then part ways so both can integrate those lessons and continue evolving. The connection serves its purpose, delivers its gifts, and then releases you both to your next chapters. Divine timing rarely matches human preference. What looks like bad timing to your conscious mind might be perfect timing for your soul's curriculum. Trust the unfolding, even when it makes no logical sense. Sign 8. Safety persists, even through conflict. Authentic love doesn't eliminate disagreements or erase human imperfection. It means arguments never destroy the foundational mutual respect. You feel anger, exhaustion, or frustration during conflicts. Emotions run high. Voices might rise. Harsh words might escape before you can stop them. Yet underneath the surface tension, something remains unshaken. You recognize they're not your adversary, they're your anchor. The conflict addresses surface issues, habits, preferences, misunderstandings, but never threatens the core bond. You confront challenges as allies facing problems together, not enemies attacking each other, because the foundation isn't pride or ego, it's compassion. And when love carries truth, when it's built on genuine soul recognition rather than illusion, even turbulence deepens intimacy rather than destroying it. You learn how to fight well together. Not fighting meaning arguing, but fighting meaning advocating for the relationship's health. You discover that working through difficulty creates stronger bonds than never facing difficulty at all. Scar tissue is tougher than original skin. Relationships that weather storms together develop. Resilience that peaceful relationships never require or achieve. After conflicts, you return to each other. Apologies come readily because ego hasn't calcified into defensive walls. Forgiveness flows naturally because grudges feel more painful than release. You might disagree on many things, but you never disagree on your fundamental commitment to growing together. Sign 9. Reality itself shifts in their company. With your destined partner, existence subtly transforms in ways both inexplicable and undeniable. Hues appear more vivid, as though someone adjusted the saturation of the world. Moments stretch longer, time bending in their presence, so that hours feel like minutes, while minutes contain lifetimes. Even stillness carries weight and meaning. The cosmos seems to celebrate your union, orchestrating synchronicities and signs that confirm you're on the right path. That's divine. Synchronicity manifesting. Everything surrounding you begins resonating with your shared frequency. Animals approach more calmly, sensing your combined peaceful energy. Lyrics you've heard 1,000 times suddenly gain new, deeply personal meaning. Meaningful coincidences multiply, seeing repeated numbers, encountering symbols significant to your relationship, and experiencing unlikely events that feel orchestrated by forces beyond chance. This isn't imagination or confirmation bias, it's vibrational alignment. Your combined presence alters perception itself, perhaps even alters reality itself in subtle ways. Quantum physics suggests consciousness affects material reality. When two powerful consciousnesses align, their combined effect amplifies. People comment on how different you seem together, how you light up around each other, how the energy in the room shifts when you arrive as a unit. You might notice plants growing more vibrantly in your shared space. Technology is behaving unusually. Weather patterns seem to align with your emotional states. The boundary between internal experience and external reality becomes permeable. Your love doesn't just exist within you. It radiates outward, touching everything in proximity. You become co-creators of a shared reality more beautiful than either could manifest alone. Sign 10. Gratitude flows without logical reason. The ultimate confirmation someone's meant for you isn't passion, chemistry, compatibility, or even love in its conventional sense. It's thankfulness, deep, abiding, unconditional gratitude. You awaken grateful they exist, not just within your sphere, actively participating in your life, but anywhere on Earth. Just knowing they're out there, breathing, living, and experiencing their own journey brings you peace. Their joy becomes yours. Their tranquility becomes yours. Their suffering pains you not from codependency, but from genuine energetic unity. Even when physical proximity proves impossible through circumstance, distance, or even if the relationship cannot continue in its current form, your heart silently honors the universe for orchestrating your meeting. You carry no bitterness, only appreciation, because you understand that some souls enter our lives not to stay forever, but to change us forever. You're grateful for every lesson they taught, including the difficult ones. Grateful for the mirror they held up to your shadow aspects. Grateful for the ways they challenged you, stretched you, and revealed capacities you didn't know you possessed. Grateful even for the pain, because it catalyzed growth you might never have chosen but desperately needed. This gratitude doesn't depend on them behaving perfectly or the relationship following your preferred script. It exists independent of outcome. It's gratitude for their essence, their existence, and their unique expression of consciousness. You're thankful the universe allowed your paths to cross, that you got to witness their light, and that your soul recognized its reflection in theirs. Because when two souls genuinely belong together, they don't possess one another. Possession implies ownership, control, and limitation. True soul connections transcend possession. They journey alongside each other. They witness each other. They honor each other's separate wholeness while celebrating their combined synergy. And no separation, no barrier, no situation can dissolve that reality. Physical distance cannot sever energetic bonds. Relationship endings cannot erase soul contracts. Even death itself may simply transition the relationship to a different form rather than ending it completely. The connection exists at levels beyond physical manifestation. This caliber of love isn't common. It's not what most people experience in their lifetimes. It's supernatural in the truest sense, beyond natural, beyond ordinary, beyond the normal human experience. It's extraordinary. It's the love that restores your faith that perhaps, just perhaps, the cosmos truly orchestrates everything with intention and wisdom beyond our comprehension. It's the love that makes you question materialist assumptions about reality being random and meaningless. Because this connection feels anything but random. When two souls appear in each other's blueprint, written into each other's destiny by forces we can barely conceptualize, they'll continue intersecting until they complete the lesson, until they've exchanged what they came to exchange, until they've catalyzed whatever growth they agreed to facilitate. Sometimes this happens in a single lifetime. Sometimes it requires multiple incarnations, meeting again and again across centuries until the work is done. So, if you've Encountered someone who soothes your storms while simultaneously creating necessary turbulence for growth. Someone who warms your existence simply by existing. Someone who expands your consciousness just by being themselves. Don't question the gift. Don't overthink it. Don't analyze it to death. Honor it. Treat it as the sacred occurrence it is. Safeguard it. Protect it from the cynicism and skepticism that our culture directs toward profound spiritual experiences. Not everyone will understand what you share. That's okay. It's not meant for everyone to understand. It's meant for you to experience. Because few people meet their soul's reflection. Few experience genuine recognition at the soul level. Few get to feel the universe conspiring on behalf of their connection. You didn't discover them accidentally. There are no accidents in destiny. You discovered them because the universe determined both of you had finally arrived at readiness. Your soul development had reached the stage where this meeting could occur. Your consciousness had expanded to the point where you could recognize what was standing before you. The timing, imperfect as it may have seemed, was actually precisely perfect. So cherish these signs if you've experienced them. Let them guide you toward deeper trust, greater openness, and more courageous love. The universe doesn't bring souls together casually. Every destined connection carries purpose, meaning, and potential for transformation beyond what either party can currently imagine. This is Psychology Wisdom, where we explore the profound mysteries that make us human. If diving deep into human connection and consciousness fascinates you, if you want to understand the invisible forces shaping your relationships and your life, hit that like button and subscribe so these insights keep reaching you whenever you need them most. Thank you for being here. Thank you for remaining open to possibilities beyond conventional understanding. Thank you for honoring the sacred in your connections. The world needs more people willing to acknowledge that love is so much more than what we've been taught to believe. Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and trust what your soul knows to be true.